This is weird. I don't like being on this side of the camera.
Welcome to our newsroom. For every story we publish, not everything a reporter notices makes the final cut. So let's change that. Here's what's behind the story.
I ran into somebody on campus who was a part of the team, and I was surprised that there was a men's gymnastics team. And so since then, it's sort of been an idea in the back of my head to do a story on this team that I had no idea existed. And when I pitched it to my editors, they didn't know that the team existed. So I really wanted to bring recognition to this program, which is self-funded. It doesn't get really any support from the university, and they do incredible things and work so hard to do gymnastics, and they represent the University of Washington. So I think it's important that we know what other people are doing on campus. This is the story. There's a banner through it all with different shots of UW sports and like Washington and Huskies. And so when I first walked in, I was like, ooh, it'd be really cool if I could catch that in the background. But obviously with sports, it's kind of up to chance. It's a lot of having to deal with where they're going to be moving, the fast-pacedness. And so when I was going through and editing, I was really happy that you could very clearly see Washington. That's Zach. Zach's doing the high bar for the intra-squad meet, which helped them figure out what lineup would be for Washington Open. I love that shot because you can see the lines of the ceiling, but then you also have the lines of the bar. And then his own body is creating a line. So it makes for an interesting shot with all of the lines drawing you to the subject. So Michael Sloat was one of the first people that I talked to from the team. He had messaged me on Instagram because he had found out that I was coming and shooting. And so I started sort of talking to him about his journey to the team. And 6 years ago, he left the team 6 years ago. He was like 18 or 19. And he took a 6-year hiatus doing elite gymnasts and just trying to figure out what he wanted, or elite gymnastics, I should say. Just trying to figure out what he wanted to do with his life. And so now he's back and he's training, which is really cool. On November 2nd, I want to say, he had dislocated his left shoulder. So in that shot where he's stretching out his left shoulder, that's one of the reasons why. He was sort of rehabbing and he couldn't do a whole lot more apparatus stuff that first practice, because I was there on December 1st. But cool kid. So there's a huge wall at their gym that's just a white blank canvas, which was really nice because I got a few shots with a blank background. And so when I saw him stretching, I kind of like scurried over to get the shot because I knew that there were no other distracting factors in the background that I had to worry about. It was just a blank white wall. He broke his hand on New Year's Eve, which was 5 days before I got that shot. He broke his 3rd and 4th metacarpal. And he ended up performing a floor routine with one arm, doing flips with one arm in a cast. We're not allowed to tell his doctor because he wasn't supposed to compete. But he did really well. He threw down a solid routine, and that was his celebration right after he was done and he had landed, and everyone was freaking out because of what he did with just one arm 5 days after breaking his hand. So this is not a varsity sport at UW. They don't get funding from the school. They're a self-funded collegiate team. Separate from a club, don't call them a club. That causes a lot of different issues and challenges for the team. My whole goal for this photo story was to bring recognition to people, to 17 student athletes here at UW that work so hard for something. And it's incredible what they do, but no one really knows that they're doing it. And I think that if we recognize them, then they can turn around and give recognition back to us, to somebody else on campus, because everyone likes being recognized, everyone likes being seen. So that was the ultimate goal.